I hope you guys enjoyed. As usual, like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, interact with my posts, join the Telegram, join Discord. Instructions for everything are on my website, tradermain.com. And shout out to the sponsors of these videos, PrimeXBT. If you want to support me, you like what I share here for free, the best way to do that is to use that PrimeXBT link in the description of this video. Use that link, sign up, put in code MAIN50, start trading, deposit some money, start trading with me. You can trade equities, you can trade gold there, you can trade SPX there with crypto as collateral. If you want to support me, that's the way to do it. So now let's talk about the charts, right? We have the same old kind of shit going on Twitter, massive euphoria. You know, we're going to 100K, the new bull run has started, 40K is a magnet, and you're dumb if you're not long, to a slight pullback, and everyone is saying like, oh, it's a deviation and we're going to new lows and blah, blah, blah. So I do think that the Binance stuff is bearish, but I was bearish before any of that news came out, right? So we had this big breakout, 9-month-long accumulation, and we've broken out, right? So there's a ton of people on your feed that are going to tell you to not fade the breakout. And I tend to agree, but I like to play level to level, and I just deal with the information that's in front of me. I would like to assume that after this long of a consolidation, this kind of a stop run, that whatever pullback happens here holds and we trade much higher. That's what I would like to assume. I think it would be very fucking bearish if we were to break out of this huge accumulation with one of the biggest candles we've seen in ages and everyone going freaking full redact on the bull posting and the hopium posting, only to deviate back inside of this range, and all of a sudden we're just going sideways still, and that was just a fake out, like this was a fake out. Right? What if that happens? Then we trade all the way back to the low, right? So I don't want that to happen. I would much rather us trade higher before going lower, but I deal with the information that is present and I make decisions based on that. So what is the information we have as present? So starting on the weekly chart, the areas of interest I have marked are this candle here, and then this SFP, right? And break in market structure. So we have an entire breaker laid out as clean as a whistle on the weekly. We have the move up, swing low is created, the swing low is run, break out to the other side. Now my expectation is that this is going to be support. I posted this on Twitter. Naturally, people, oh my God, it's such a big box, right? Like Cred likes to tease, but Cred's my friend, one of my oldest friends in the space, right? So I know he's just joking around and he's just talking shit because he knows that I'm not just entering based on this weekly block, right? I'm not just longing this with my stop fucking 20% away. He knows better, but many people do not, which is hilarious. You guys who watch me and have been watching me or in my Discord or in my Telegram, you know I'm not just longing here and putting my stop here. Remember, I always give you the sniper analogy. First, what is my bias? I'm bullish here. Next, where am I looking? Now I've narrowed it down. I've zoomed in that scope. Then I go to the lower time frame and I narrow it down even more until I get to my execution time frame. And that's where I'm actually pulling trigger. But doing this type of analysis, saying, hey, I want to be a buyer in here, that gives you two very important pieces of information. It gives you my bias, which is bullish, looking for longs, and it tells you where I'm doing that. I'm showing you if I see the stuff I like to see, which you guys should know by now, in this area, I will be taking longs. So what I see here based on the weekly supply here, we just front run it, but we did fill in the majority of this gap here, this fair value gap here. We're seeing a bit of a pullback. We had a massive up move, some sort of pullback is completely reasonable and should be expected. It's not just going to go up in a straight line. So I've given you my bias, right? So right now we've had this move. We ran these equal highs. Remember, I had these equal highs marked. I posted a video. I was like, these highs When we came up and put in a double top, I'm like, these highs do not hold. We're going to smash higher, 29 to 31 or whatever the targets I was given, 28 to 32, but came right up to about 29K, ran the highs. We've run upside liquidity now. So now I'm going to be looking for a retracement into this price leg, confluent with this breaker, to formulate the next long idea. I'm willing to take a long here, even though we're going to be back below this kind of range high. So a lot of people are going to assume this this is a deviation in short, but based on the strength of the breakout, I'm willing to try a long here first. And if the long doesn't work or we don't get bullish market structure in here, guess what? I will short and I will target the range lows. Really that simple. But because we had the strong breakout here, the first pullback, I'm willing to see if this can put in a higher low and then continue up. If it does not show me that, if it does not do it, if I get stopped out, it is what it is and I will live with that. And I will say, okay, now it looks more like we have a range here. And this was just a deviation to the upside. But for now, I will look to long if we get down here. We don't even have to come down this far. It does not have to happen. So that's the weekly. My goal was to get a pullback to here on the weekly chart. So on the lower time frame, I can be short biased into here and then long biased in here for potentially another leg up. That's exactly what we did. Go down to the 12 hour. We put in the run at the highs. We're still within this 12-hour range here, but we had these equal lows here. I took a short on the hourly based on this pullback here after the SFP. My target was the range low. Played out perfectly. They made us sweat a little bit with this pullback here. Looked a little dicey, but I drew that trend line. I said, this is bait. This is going to get nuked. And it did. So the 12-hour, I can be bearish biased for a move down to that weekly breaker down here. And then I can get bullish bias again here, just knowing that, hey, this is my 12-hour swing. I'm looking to buy a retracement of this 12-hour swing and then hopefully see continuation of the upside and bullish momentum. But if it does not happen, it doesn't happen. But if I think that we're going to go here and I see a sell signal up here at the extreme of the range, why wouldn't I look for a short and play it back this way and then flip long again? Level to level, right? That's all I give a shit about. We at this level here. I think this level is next. I'm going to look for a short to it. We get to this area. I think higher is next. I'm going to look for reasons to long. So that's all that this was, right? Was a level to level play on the 12-hour, right? I still would like to see us come to this lower gray box. I don't know if we will, but for now we ran the 12-hour high. And now we've run the 12-hour low. So if you're looking at market structure here on the 12-hour, to me, this is the low and this is the high. That's your 12-hour structure. In my opinion, some people might want this is the high. Some people might do whatever the fuck they want. I don't really care. This is how I view structure on the 12-hour. And we ran the highs, closed back below, and we had equal lows at the lows. So that was the obvious trigger to get short. And you had a ton of opportunities to shorten this leg and shorten this leg back down using the stuff I share in Telegram and I've taught you guys over the past fucking couple of years that I've been doing these videos. So now looking at this internal structure, right? So this is kind of like our external structure here, this and this. Looking at our internal structure, we did close below this low, but we SFP'd all of these ones. So it's like, are we going to bounce? Is it a lower low yet? I don't know, right? So the way I view this is simple. We're still in a bullish 12-hour range here, but we've put in a low and a lower low. So if we come back up here, I might look for this to be a lower high and then we get confirmation, right? And on the low time frame, you're going to see that shift happen first before it confirms on the high time frame. So if we're going to end up getting a structure break on the 12-hour, the H4, the H1, the M30 are going to be bearish before that, right? So I'm just trying to say, okay, we did SFP these lows, but this could be viewed as a potential market structure shift to the downside. So I still think, even though we ran these lows here, that there's a very good chance that this down leg is not over and that any sort of little bounce would be an opportunity to short this lower. But for now, we're still within this 12-hour range. We hit our initial target, so nothing wrong with having taken some profit there. But this is what I mean. Just how I said, hey, we broke this low, but we SFP'd here so we could see a bounce. It's exactly like this. We ran this low, bounced, bunch of people probably closed their shorts thinking it was fucking over, only for it to be a lower high and then leg down again. So we could see the same thing happening here. Any sort of bounce is just an opportunity to short this for lower. So I'm still going to be looking for potential bearishness here personally, because I would like us to trade down to the other level, right? I want us to trade down to here. So my current short that I shared with you guys, I closed half, stops at break even, looking for opportunities to compound if they present themselves. Going down to the hourly, okay, we now have this 1 hour bearish price range. So I'm watching this and saying, okay, just like how I showed you, we might get a little pop on the 12-hour before another leg down. I want to see here, do we pop up into, any of the structure over here, the upper part of this 1 hour downswing, and then potentially put in a lower high and sell off, or maybe we sell off from right here, right? Maybe we sell off from right here. These lines I have are on the 30-minute, but we had a little bit of a sweep. We closed below this low. This thing probably pukes again, right? And then that'll be the continuation of this 12-hour down leg here. Because if the next 12-hour candle closes below here, that range low, this will become that high, and then we'll have a new low here, and then this is now your 12-hour bearish leg. But you saw it happen on the hourly first, then on the 4-hour, and da-da-da. So we're gonna wait and see. I'm watching this hourly range. If we get a pullback up here and some weakness, I think that's an opportunity to get short or compound short. But I still think that this looks bad. Personally, could be wrong, anything can happen, but I still think that this can trade lower. 25.2 remains an area of interest for me, which is the top of that weekly breaker effectively. But I'm gonna watch again, and if this sweep ends up being the low and we're gonna trade back to the range high, then so be it. Maybe I'll flip long at some point based on new price action. Maybe I just will miss that trade. I don't care, right? Like this short from 28,500 down to here. It's effectively a $2,000 move that I gave you guys. I gave you the short and I gave you the exact lows. I said 26,500. It's a $2,000 move. So for every Bitcoin that you were short, you made 2,000 bucks. You can see with not even that large of a position, 3, 4, 5 Bitcoin position, this could be a $5,000 to $10,000 trade to start the week. And the risk to reward was like fucking 1 to 4, right? Is a 4R trade. You don't need that many of those to do really fucking well. And what you absolutely don't need to do is, after winning a good trade like that, is giving back a couple R, doing something stupid, right? So that was a high probability trade. We had a clear entry, a clear invalidation above the high, and a clear target. It ticks all boxes. Even though everyone was bullish up here, I didn't give a fuck. I don't listen to any of that. People were messaging me about funding. I don't look at funding. I'm not looking at the heat map and seeing any of that shit, right? A lot of you guys always say, hey, Maine, do you see the MACD is doing this? Do you see the funding is negative? Do you see I never look at that shit ever. The only time I ever comment on it is when other people share it with me and go, hey, look at this. This is crazy. But I never look at it. All of this entire 5R trade almost, which took, 3 or 4 days to play out. I think we entered on Thursday, maybe Friday. We entered here. What day is this? Thursday. Couple days to play out, paid off big, and I'm chilling, right? And this is all stuff that you guys know how to do if you've been watching me for long enough. Nothing I have shared in this video or that got me into that trade, I have not broken down for you guys countless times in every single one of my fucking streams. Okay, so pretty straightforward plan for Bitcoin here, I think, right? We're watching this hourly range. We're still within this 12-hour range. I'm looking to see if the bulls do get a little bit of a push. Is it just a bear flag, right? That's gonna end up selling off again. Similar to this, right? Remember, I drew this trend line and I said, hey, it'd be a real shame if all the people longing this trend line here with their stops here, here, and here got nuked. It would be a real shame. It pushed a little higher than I thought. I thought after this bounce, I thought this might have been it. Went a little bit higher, still no change in the plan, still in a downtrend here. Had another little mini internal trend line here. More stops built up. There's the shift, bang, dump, right? And there's a short I posted yesterday right here that would have caught you in this move on the low time frame. But I knew that this trend line was bullshit. I'm like, this is gonna get rinsed. These lows were way too clean. So I had all the pieces of the puzzle, right? I had all the ingredients for the recipe. Go and cook the damn dish. Put that shit together. Fucking do it. So now we're gonna watch. We're gonna see what happens within this range here. Is this gonna roll over? Maybe it bounces and we get, another little fake looking uptrend and then it nukes. But if you're looking at this 1 hour range, really, we shouldn't trade above probably these highs, right? Like if this is gonna leg down again to here, we shouldn't trade above here. So anything that's gonna happen needs to be capped by that level, in my opinion. If we start trading up there, I would say this is probably going to go higher. And that's fine. If we then get bullish, right? If we do this, guess what? I'm going to look to long a pullback in this now bullish leg. So that was a whole metric ton of alpha. I must be in the fucking zone today because that was very, very, very high level stuff that I just shared with you guys there. You're going to want to watch this again. Going from the weekly, giving you my levels of interest, my high time frame bias, going to the 12-hour, again, more bias, more areas of interest right down to the lower time frame where I gave you the exactly how I got in. I deleted all the levels because it was getting crazy, right? But I showed you all of the opportunities to get into this short that played out on the hourly chart with the breaks in market structure, right? This was the initial short there, another opportunity there, another opportunity on the low time frame here. There was actually an M30 short last night right here. I'll leave this for you guys to see, but it's right here. There was a low time frame short, and you can even take this down to the 5-minute, and this short, all of them play out the exact same fractal with almost no fucking heat, no drawdown. So let's wait and see if we get a bit of a bounce and go from there. I'm going to watch this for now. I'm watching this little mini range within this range, and I'm going to be patient. Ethereum, very similar. Weekly analysis is the same. Bitcoin, stronger of the two. Ethereum's already retesting this breaker. Broke out, retesting. Ethereum has not left its range. So you go look at Ethereum BTC, which has been getting shellacked. You now can see that correlation in the USD pair, right? Bitcoin looks like this, right? Ethereum is like this. They're both pulling back a little, but Bitcoin much stronger out of the bottom than Ethereum. And we've seen Bitcoin domination going up, things like that, right? So Ethereum is in the monthly breaker or the weekly breaker already. You go to the 12-hour chart. It did print a short signal, right? We did sweep this low. So, I mean, the 12-hour range, I guess, more like this, right? And I kind of like that idea here. So ran the highs. You could have shorted Ethereum up here. There's probably another short in here on this pullback. Technically, this is your 12-hour swing. We're pulling back. We have a 12-hour bullish order block here within the swing. So this could be confluent, for example, either bottoming in here or one more leg down to run this low, right? And blow this low out. Confluent with Bitcoin taking one more leg down to 23K or 25.2, a little lower on Ethereum. So Ethereum, BTC also starting to round up a little bit. So potentially there might be Ethereum strength here coming up this week, but my bias on Bitcoin for potentially still moving down lines up well with Ethereum being in this 12-hour range, but it still has potential for, if we run this range low, that's another 6% to the downside. 6% to the downside puts Bitcoin at that weekly breaker. So I do think you want to watch Ethereum here and see if we get any sort of bullish price action. You're going to want to watch this low, right? We swept there and we're now trading below it, because if we close below this low, you then have a lower high and a lower low kind of on internal structure. And that would lead me to believe that Ethereum's still bearish, right? So similar to Bitcoin here, right? SFP'd this low, but now we're trading below it. It could close as a break in market structure. So Ethereum is at a point of interest for me in this area here between 1600 and 1700. I'm going to be watching price action. If we get any sort of bullishness here, I will look to potentially long. Obviously, I'd want to see Bitcoin put in some bullishness as well. So whether that's a move like this, or if it's a move, down through here within this range, lower extremity of the range, that's where I'm looking to get long. We're just probably trading below the 50% right now. So I'm prepared to buy bullish PA in this area if it presents itself. But for now, there's no trade here on Ethereum. Not as obvious as on Bitcoin, in my opinion. And I talk about this all the time, right? Like, yes, there's going to be an altcoin. There's going to be a Bitcoin or Ethereum that outperforms one or the other, right? Like you long Bitcoin, Ethereum goes up 10, Bitcoin only goes up 7. And you're like, what the fuck? Yes, you should try and find opportunities where you can catch the higher beta play. So if FBTC is bullish and we have an opportunity to long either Ethereum or Bitcoin, Ethereum probably the better long if FBTC is bullish. But you still have to factor in what chart makes the most sense to you. What chart can you see the cleanest setup on and clearly define your risk, your target, etc. And so on the short here, Bitcoin setup was cleaner to me. That's why I shorted Bitcoin. So even though Ethereum sold off more, I'm fine with it. I shorted Bitcoin because the setup was more clear, more apparent to me on the Bitcoin chart than it was on the Ethereum chart. And maybe that changes, right? So Ethereum USD, we're in an area of interest here. Zoom in on the hourly here. Not really much. A little bit of a sweep that's gone on here. So you could technically be watching this low here to see if we get a shift on the hourly, and then perhaps that's another leg down. Or just like on Bitcoin, right? We have this new hourly range, this down leg from here to here. If we get some sort of move above the 50% and weakness, that could be your short for the next leg down. But Ethereum is in that weekly breaker that I want to buy Bitcoin in. So maybe we see some Ethereum strength where Bitcoin sells off harder, Ethereum doesn't go as deep. This is a wide zone, right? This goes all the way down to 1450. So it doesn't mean we have to bounce from right here. We can still sell off 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%, still be within this weekly bullish order block, and then put in the bullish setup, and then we can get long. FBTC has been in this range forever. I still think there's a chance that this trades down to the fucking low. Definitely possible, but we have this weekly fair value gap here that price is coming up under or into. So this is going to be something to watch. And then we have this high to this low here. So this could be a potential area where, you know, we see a bounce on Ethereum. And then within this, you have another range here. But this is kind of what I'm watching on FBTC. If this can curl up, that means there's going to be a period of time here where Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. But this could literally be as simple as this, and then it could go down again. Just looking at the weekly, I'm still nervous with how this looks, that this could just very well come and touch the bottom of the range again. Maybe even run this low, but definitely test the bottom of the range again. So something to watch here. Into support in the weekly fair value gap. There's still no bullish PA on the 12-hour. On the hourly, you kind of do, right? You have a low, a high, higher low, higher high. So this is a bullish hourly price swing that we're within right now. So it's starting to potentially turn. Still too early to tell, but that's what I'm watching. The dollar is selling off a little harder than I expected. We ran that key swing low at 102.59, basically back where we are right now, right here. We ran this low into the weekly demand, weekly order block, SFP'd right into it. So I'm hoping that this bounces here. Like, I'm hoping that this is a higher low that's about to form, and this is going to trade towards 104, 105. So that's kind of my plan for dollar, is I want to see it trade higher. How much lower it goes, I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to see it probably violate this low. If it does, I want it to be a quick sweep, but I would like to see this push up, which would be confluent with Bitcoin potentially selling off more, and then also my view on equities, which is we potentially are going to sell off more. Just simple range play. The low ran the high. Now we're in the lower part again, looking for reasons to potentially long this to higher. Weekly order block, weekly SFP. We failed to get above this breaker here. This is a bearish order block. If we would have closed above, it would have become a breaker. It didn't. So now you could wait. The conservative play would be wait for us to get back above mid-range, and then that's when it's going to fucking go up. That would be the conservative play. The aggressive play is trying to hope that it bounces from around here, but that's what I'm watching on the dollar. I want to see that go up, to see crypto sell off more, right? If the dollar continues to sell off, and this is going to go to the range lows here, Bitcoin is not going to dump. Equities, I've been watching this chart for fucking ever, it seems. We've got our high time frame range here. So I just took this 12-hour high to this 12-hour low. We came up towards the top of the range, put in a big SFP, got short signals, got another short signal, but it's just fucking grinding here. I'm hoping this plays out like Bitcoin, in that I hope that this trend line is just bullshit. And once this trend line goes, we get the big nuke and crypto gets flushed with it. So that's what I'm watching on SPX. It's giving me sell triggers near the top of the range. So that's what I'm banking on. I see this as potential, the exact same as Bitcoin. This is fucking trendline liquidity. A bunch of people are longing here, stops below these lows. So this thing just needs to snap down, and then it should go down, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I want to see the dollar go up. I want to see this sell off. And right now, the dollar is dropping, and this is popping up. Hopefully, it's just a little bit of a retest of support here. We've got this gap, get above here, get above there, then maybe we get the bounce that I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm not going to force it. The dollar continues to shit the bed and everything continues to pump. It is what it is. I'll flip my bias. I'm not really too worried. So looking for a bullish dollar, looking for bearishness on equities and crypto. That's my thesis for now. If my ideas are invalidated by price, I will flip my bias and I will look for new setups on the long side. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Just spitting absolute fucking sauce. Big man ting, yeah? It's all there for you. That's what your papa main does for you, because he loves you. That's how I was raised. I've not heard the term Guido in a long time. Why are you doing that, bro? Slur. Come on, dog. You know better. Moon says, thanks for teaching this stuff. You're welcome, Moon. Thanks for controlling the tides. Mark Zuckerberg is back. Bro, come on. You worried that no one's gonna watch Facebook Shorts? When the bull run kicks off, you're easily gonna get 10K views per video. I fucking hope so, because I'm trying to exit scam. I'm out of here. It's looking good, bruv. It's looking good. What a stupid fucking thing to do. You deserve to lose your money. Come on, dude. I'm not trying to be a dick. This is just tough love. Don't do that. Repeating your question over and over and over again and yelling at me is not making me super inclined to want to fucking answer you. Seals have thick mane necks. Okay, interesting. Good to know. What the fuck does Arbitrum do? I have my life savings on it. I hope to get rich next bull run. What a terrible fucking sum of words there in that fucking sentence. I just spat all over my fucking screen. I didn't know Maine was a juggalo. I didn't know I was a juggalo either. That's baller. That is baller. Why would you put your life savings in some fucking Ponzi scheme? Why the fuck are you putting your life savings in anything? That being said, let's assume that this is a real company and not some random fucking shitcoin that probably is going to zero. If you're just praying to get rich, praying is not a fucking strategy. Most people are fucking stupid.